I feel like this episode is a lot like moving because there is tons to unpack. Welcome to All Talk, all USL talk, USL cover the latest scores, news, and developments in the second highest division of the United States men's professional soccer system, the USL Championship. I am your host, as always, Vince Calvano. Happy Monday, August 17, 2026, episode 101 of Talk USL, episode 25 of season 3 of Talk USL. Welcome along, everybody. Not the best analogy, because, who likes moving, honestly, but this week, tons to unpack, and I think that's, partly my shoulders to blame to put on, because last week, I think the 100 episodes definitely got in the way of, that's, by the way, July Player of the Month. Oh yeah, by the way, Loudon pretty much folded it in this season with the loss of their key player, but maybe for all the right reasons, right? Talk more about that. That's a big one. And what it reminds me of a player in the past, an Egyptian player that played in the Premier League back in the early 2010s. Maybe you know him, but I'm going to make that analogy later too. It's going to be cool to talk about. We have a legend returning to the league in Cal Jennings. We'll talk about his return from overseas of playing in Japan, now where he lands back in the USL, being one of the third-time all-leading scorers in the USL. Back in the picture, the 29-year-old's here. Speaking of pictures, the playoff picture becoming much more clear in regards to some important wins. Talking about Hartford, for instance, this past weekend against Miami. But more so, speaking of those two teams, we have to unpack the quarterfinal, the reaction. We're down to now 4 teams in the USL Cup, the Prince Tires USL Cup semifinals happening in early September. We'll preview those matches. We'll break down the matches that has transpired this past week. So much more to talk about. We're going to start with the quarterfinals, but first of all, most importantly, if this is your first time listening to the show, if you've been around, make sure to give a review on the podcast platform you're using to listen. I'm everywhere at Talk USL on socials. You can always DM me there or just write me an email at talkuslchampionship@gmail.com. Make sure to spread the word of our podcast. I'm now on Reddit, by the way, too. So that's also another social media platform I am at as well. So plenty to get into. And I also have a bit of a special sort of, not guest, but cameo appearance. Way back in the day, we had my younger brother, the Fran man, Francesco, on. We talked about Sacramento taking on Tampa back in 2024. And then this past week, since obviously I'm in Central Europe, I messaged my older brother. I said, do me a favor, on Wednesday night, if you can, try to watch at least one of the quarterfinal matches and let me know your thoughts on it. 15 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever it is. I'm just curious to get your take, since I won't be able to watch over here due to the time difference. And he gave us his take. So Gio is going to be making his first sort of message appearance. You'll hear his voice, although we do sound quite similar. He's had obviously a storied career playing soccer and now coaching it full time. So that's pretty cool to see, and we'll get his take on the San Antonio Miami game. And I think that's where we'll start. So we're going to break down these USL quarterfinal summaries. We'll preview what's ahead. We're going to talk about the July Player of the Month. We'll talk about the weekend fixtures, goal of the week, and so forth. We got a Copa Tejas to break down too, mind you that. And we have some really big matches, like I'm talking Lou City taking on Orange County. There was a chippy affair with Colorado and Birmingham. So much to unpack, so let's get this show on the road. Starting first with San Antonio taking on Miami back on Wednesday, August 12th at Toyota Field. This one was a big chippy affair, and I'm not going to pass it over right now to the voice message of my brother. So take a listen to what he had to say about the game and what he was watching.
So I saw the meat of the first half between my favorite USL team, San Antonio FC, against Miami. And the video review, whatever it's called, they implemented, comes into full effect. Because after the play where Santiago Suarez mistimes his jump and leaps and puts his cock right in the face of Arnie Rocha, It was nasty. It was, in my opinion, deserving of a red card. And that's what happened. The video review, Suarez gets sent off. And I have to respect San Antonio. They didn't panic. They didn't go dramatic. I don't know who it was. Maybe it was the captain, one of the guys, brought him in for a huddle. They huddled up, and what did they do? They went for the Germany women's team tactic, 4-4-1 to red card. And they turned up the tempo. They played like a team. That guy, number 22, Emil Cuello from Argentina, he's filthy. What a dribbler on San Antonio. And you could see Miami. I think they thought that red card was going to be an advantage, but they didn't want to do the extra running. The forwards didn't want to do the extra pressing for Miami, and it didn't look like a 10v11 game. It looked like an 11v11. And San Antonio, that guy Pirano, who I know you've talked about many times on your podcast, what a goal scorer. What a perfectly timed run to take the lead 1-0. As I'm giving you this message, it's like the 90th minute, still 2-1 San Antonio. So I'm no surprise because they're a unit, they're a team. They didn't panic. They kept their heads, kept their focus, and they're working hard.
So there you have it, Gio's take, my older brother, who's actually a San Antonio fan of all things. So they have pledged their allegiance. It was Alex Crognali who brought everyone in for that huddle, by the way. A football video support becoming a factor big time twice in this matchup. And I mean, he did say flying cock. People were saying flying knee. It was a giant leaping sort of like a Rey Mysterio jump on Rocha, which denied the 2v1 break. It would have led for Miami to have played continued. So Suarez was initially shown yellow, but then head coach Gaston Madoni had requested a review. The review happened. The decision was upgraded to red, leaving San Antonio down to 10 men, which was important. But San Antonio handled the setback, as Gio said. In the 44th minute, Jorge Hernandez split the Miami back line with a through ball. Christian Pirano finished inside the near post to put San Antonio ahead. And then Miami nearly answered in stoppage time, but Batruni tipped DeCosta's effort over the bar. And then in the 64th minute in the second half, the same duo strikes again. Hernandez plays Pirano in behind. Pirano rounds Eloy Room before finishing it into an open net. And Miami's night got harder in the 74th minute when Gerald Diaz was sent off after another video review, this time requested by San Antonio's head coach Carlos Lamosa. 5 minutes later, Diego Melo crossed for Arnie Rocha, who had been fouled for the initial red card in the first half. This time he puts it away with a nice, sort of jumping volley to make it 2-1, but it's too little, too late. Miami did find a way sort of to get another chance with Dalton Knutson heading it over to the goal in the 97th minute. But Batruni made the save, and San Antonio advanced to the USL Cup semifinals. We talked about being down to 10 men. My brother Gio referencing a match we saw at the Women's European Tournament back in 2025, and that was a match between Germany and France in, ironically as well, the quarterfinals. So that was maybe coming full circle a little bit. But that match had went to penalties. So that was a cool thing that happened over here in Switzerland. So that was pretty cool. But the important thing is here, we talked beforehand about Pirano and Hernandez, what those two mean to San Antonio, the connection they have. It's really like a Luis Suarez, Edison Cavani, Uruguay connection, if I had to make a comparison. They just kind of know where each other are at all times throughout the game. But for Miami's side of thing, I mean, Rocha gave Miami a bit of a late lifeline with Diego Mills' cross and making sure that they at least got into the back of the net. But for Miami, they earned their first home victory against, for San Antonio, they earned their first home victory against Miami in 4 all-time attempts. And Jorge Hernandez was definitely the man of the match. 5 chances created, three big chances created, 24 of 26 passes completed. Diaz, who came on for the field, in the 74th minute getting sent off, he was only on the field for 4 minutes and 5 seconds before his red card, the shortest time before sending off in USL Cup history. Miami only registered 2 shots between San Antonio's red card and Diaz's red card, while conceding twice. MFC Communications there, as well as Nicholas Murray from the USLChampionship.com. Shout out to my brother. Hopefully the audio quality was okay, because it was a WhatsApp voice recorded message. But we know his preferred team, San Antonio. My younger brother, I think, is leaning more towards Tampa. Had been the case back when we watched him in 2024, Meanwhile, for me, well, I'm just a big fan of the league. You know that. You know that for sure. We'll get into some of the other matches, and I think a next one to get into is another USL Championship inner matchup, and that was Tampa Bay Rowdies taking on Lou City. This was 11 days after that wild 5-4 game where Tampa beat Louisville, but this one had a completely different feel, and I kind of felt like it would be much more compact, much more tight, and it really was the case. I mean, the first real look for Lou City came in the 10th minute when Jansen Wilson curled a low shot just wide after a loose Rowdies pass. Tampa Bay's best chance arrived in the 31st minute when Russell Cicerone slipped Sebastian Cruz in with a clever backheel, but Faroux reacted well to save the shot, and the second half just stayed tense. I mean, Micheletto, Dolabella, both forced saves from Faroux. Louisville nearly stole it late when Sanguilito's turning shot hit the left post, but then was gathered really quickly by Waiti, and then Tampa just had to finish the match down a man after Cruz was injured with no substitutions left. Lou City pushed late with block efforts from Donovan and McFadden, but it ended scoreless. Then came penalties. Up first was Lou City, and I mean, when you have Sean Tosh from the spot, you know it's going to end up in the back of the net. So he gets the scoring underway for Lou City. Then Dolabella reacts with one of his own. Donovan steps up for Lou City. Boom, makes it 2-1 on penalties. Then it goes to Schneider, the German for Tampa. He converts. It goes to De Villa of Lou City. He converts. And then Gennaro Nigro steps up, but it is saved. It is saved from Lou City's Faroux. He denies him. Quincy Huerman, Lewis Hilton both convert after that before Taylor De Villa buried the decisive penalty into the top right corner. Lou City advanced to the USL Cup semifinals with a 5-3 shootout win after a 0-0 draw. Hugo Faroux being the difference maker, making that save in the penalty kick shootouts. You go for, him in terms of what he'd done this game, this tight affair. Sean Tosh, who converted the first penalty, but also strong defensive display. 11 recoveries, 7 out of 8 aerial duels, 4 clearances, 2 interceptions. So a lot of defensive contributions. And I mean, you want to talk about low scoring affair? Well, shots on goal for Tampa, 3. Lou City didn't even have a shot on goal this game. Expected goals for Tampa, 0.83. Expected goals for Lou City, 0.37, which is crazy. For Tampa Bay, bad history already in the USL Cup when it comes to penalty shootouts. They've lost both they have faced in their history. Meanwhile, Lou City, they won a penalty shootout for the second time in this year's USL Cup edition. They record their first shutout since July 4th. And there you have it. What the manager said after this one, well, Simon Bird for Lou City said the challenge was to respond to the 5-4 loss at the same venue, show stronger mentality. He praised Lou City's compact defensive shape, organization, and character throughout the 90 minutes as well as the shootout. From Casciato's side, I mean, he was proud of Tampa Bay's effort, felt the match had the tension of what would be a cup final, and I could totally understand that. He pointed to Cruz's first half chance as the kind of moment that could have opened the game, but the Rowdies now have to reset and focus back on the league. So he was right about that. They came back with strong focus this past weekend. They didn't have any cup hangovers like other teams. We're talking San Antonio, big cup hangover for them. But for Tampa Bay's side, they took care of business against Rhode Island, a tough Rhode Island side at home this past weekend. We'll get more into that as we cover the matches that had transpired recently. But back to the USL Cup quarterfinals. This time we go to Spokane Velocity taking on Colorado Springs. This was also a tight affair, and they started on the front foot against Spokane. Jonas Feldberg for Colorado testing Rancio twice inside the first 10 minutes. Spokane strike first against the run of play in the 14th minute, so they get the goal scoring underway. It's Luis Hill who pounced on a loose ball and switchback's defensive third, drove a low shot into the bottom corner to put the Velocity ahead. Switchbacks, though, find the response not too long later. 30th minute, Sam Williams sends a long pass forward to Feldberg, carry the ball in from the right, cut inside the defense, curls a beautiful left-footed finish into the bottom corner. That goal, Feldberg's team-leading third of the tournament, sent the match into halftime tied 1-1. Colorado Springs would push hard for a winner after the break, dominating the ball, finishing regulation with 14 shots compared to Spokane's 2, plus heavy final third pressure. The break, though, didn't come, and it would go to penalties. Switchbacks, converting all 5, with Corey Bennett closing their set with a Panenka. Spokane matched the first 4, but Ibrahim Covey missed the final 10th, sending Colorado Springs through to the Prince Tires USL Cup semifinals. Feldberg answers early trouble before the Switchbacks survive from the spot. Felberg, 1 goal, 3 shots on target, 2 chances created before coming off as a substitute in the 68th minute. Corey Bennett also played quite big in this one. I think if you look from bright spots from Spokane, obviously Hill gave that early lead in the 14th minute. It was Spokane's big attacking moment in front of the capacity crowd at home, but just struggled to create much after that. Again, we talk about only 2 shots. Talk about passes as well. Spokane had 281 passes compared to 521 of Colorado Springs. Brennan Creek, we can shout out. He recorded 3 interceptions. And Talon Maples, the former New Mexico player now playing for Colorado Springs, won 5 of 6 duels. Did Colorado Springs deserve to advance, or did they escape? Over 90 minutes, Switchbacks had more of the ball, more shots, far more territory. But they also let that match hang around by not turning that control into a second goal. And knockout soccer, that can punish you, but they stayed cool from the spot. Big time cool. I'm talking about Panenka finish with a cherry on top. So shout out to Corey Bennett with the swag there. Aaron Burnson as well with coverage, as well as USLsoccer.com staff. So there you have it. Colorado Springs into the semifinals. One last game to talk about was also a USL League One side taking on a USL Championship side. That was Charlotte Independence hosting Hartford Athletic in this one. But it was more of a, not one-sided affair, but this was more of the clearest matchup in terms of result-wise from all 4 quarterfinal fixtures. Hartford came out sharp. Matthews put Charlotte Independence under pressure right away. Matt Levy kept Charlotte alive early. He made 4 saves inside the first 20 minutes, but the pressure from Hartford did pay off in the 22nd minute. Augie Williams pulled the ball back across the goal, and it was Anak who finished from close range to give the visitors a lead in the 23rd minute. Charlotte struggled to play through Hartford's press. That problem hurt them again in the 36th minute. It was a loose pass from Manin. Anaku took advantage with a solo effort for his second goal of the night. Even after Anaku came off at halftime, Hartford just kept on rolling. His replacement, Obola, bundled in Emmanuel's Samadia's cross in the 52nd minute before Williams added Hartford's 4th in the 67th minute from Adedokun's setup. So, a little bit over an hour of play. This game's 4-0 for Hartford. Charlotte, though, they didn't make the scoreline more respectable as of late. They started just saying they will throw everything but the kitchen sink at them and deflect the long-range effort from Gouffroy went in off Jordan Scarlett for an own goal in the 73rd minute. And then Manin scored from Clay Dimick's assist in the 85th. But Hartford had pretty much already done the damage. They started fast, they pressed hard, and they sent the defending cup holders through in this one. And had 15 entries into Charlotte penalties area in the first half. That's a big stat you can look at. And they'd entered this match, ironically, winless in 7 league games, but they showed that cup form against League One opposition. Charlotte only had 2 penalty area entries in the first half compared to that, what we talked about, the 15 from Hartford. So you just saw in terms of dominance. And now we have upcoming matches. The draw has been done. Defending USL Cup title holder Hartford Athletic will play host to Colorado Springs in the opening semifinal at Trinity Health Stadium. San Antonio will welcome Lou City to Toyota Field in a clash of former championship title winners. Both semifinals will air on ESPN Plus as well as local broadcast networks. The dates, mark them, Tuesday, September 8th, Hartford takes on Colorado at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 Pacific. They'll continue its pursuit of a second consecutive USL Cup title as it plays host to the 2024 USL Championship title winner, Colorado Springs. The ties between 2 clubs begin in the sidelines. Hartford head coach Brendan Burke having led the resurgence of the Switchbacks following his appointment as head coach prior to the opening of Widener Field back in 2020. So history runs deep. He led the side to a Western Conference final before departing to join the staff at Houston Dynamo in 2023. Then you talk about current Switchbacks head coach Alan McCann. He was part of Burke's staff before his ascent to his current role prior to the start of the current campaign, with both also having previously served as head coach at USL League 2 side Reading United AC and within the Philadelphia Union organization. So those connections extend to the field. 5 current athletic players, Sebastian Anderson, Adrian Dispay, Beverly Macangela, Machine Galena, and Matt Real, all having previously played for the Switchbacks in their career, as both clubs look to add to their recent silverware. This match should be an entertaining one at Trinity Health Stadium, with a lot of history running between 2 sides. We have also more history to talk about when it comes to San Antonio taking on Lou City at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 Pacific, Toyota Field. San Antonio and Lou City will square off in a rematch of the 2022 USL Championship Final, with each having a chance to complete their trophy collection with victory in this year's USL Cup. Both San Antonio and Louisville have previously claimed the USL Championship title and Players' Shield. San Antonio defeated Louisville 3-1 in the 2022 Championship Final to complete the regular season and postseason double. Talk about history. A handful of players remained from the 2022 Championship Final for both clubs. Final MVP Santiago Patino, Pirano, and defender Mitchell Tainter remaining from San Antonio's lineup that night, and the quartet of goalkeeper Danny Foundes, defender Sean Tosh, Amadou Dia, and winger Ray Serrano all still part of Lou City's squad. So the sides previously played to a 1-1 draw back on August 8th in the championship regular season, leaving the series all square across 4 prior meetings with 1 win apiece and 2 draws. So who will get the bragging rights in that one? So there you have it. That's what the semifinals will look like, and we'll obviously preview those games closer as we approach the dates in early September. So we keep on rolling here. We got the July Player of the Month to talk about. We had 4 candidates for July. Trevor Amen, the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, who led all players with 5 goals in the month, including a record-setting hat-trick in his sides clash with Lou City on July 18 on CBS. He logged 13 shots, a strike rate of a goal every 73.8 minutes for the month. Jansen Wilson from Lou City, the Kentucky native, recorded 4 goals, 1 assist across all comps to help Lou City advance to the knockout stage of the Prince Tires USL Cup while recording a league-high 19 shots, contributing 6 chances created in the month of July. Adrian Perez, Colorado Springs Switchbacks, 30-year-old, recorded 3 goals, 1 assist in 3 appearances for Colorado, averaging a goal contribution every 52.3 minutes while recording 11 shots and 12 chances created to lead the side to victories in all 3 of his appearances for the month of July. And then the winner himself announced on August 13. Aaron Molloy, the perennial all-league selection, led all players with 4 assists across all comps, 9 chances created, 8 shots. He led the league in completing 317 of 350 passes and recorded 32 recoveries and won 18 of 29 duels and 4 of 5 tackles. So there you have it, a league-high 4 assists in 5 appearances, helping Lexington move into the top half of the Western Conference standings. Acquired by Lexington for a league record transfer fee from Charleston Battery this offseason, Molloy producing another standout campaign. During July, we talked about those pair of assists in Lexington's 4-1 win against the current Players' Shield leader, the Tampa Bay Rowdies, and another pair against Commonwealth Cup rival Lou City in the Prince Tires USL Cup group stage. Really coming in big games, the Irish midfielder now leads Lexington with both 4 goals and 5 assists in the regular season. In terms of, receiving the award, he had said, quote, "I'm really grateful to be named Player of the Month. It's a great individual honor, but I couldn't have done it without my teammates, coaches, and everyone around the club who pushes me every day." Molloy has been voted to the USL Championship All-League first team in each of the past 4 seasons, earning plaudits as one of the league's top central midfielders since the start of the 2022 season, recording 50 goal contributions in regular season play and ranking tied for first with 32 assists alongside San Antonio FC's Jorge Hernandez. 29-year-olds also recorded a league-high 959 recoveries, 215 interceptions, winning 738 duels, ranking 5th in the league in that category, making Molloy one of the league's top two-way performers of all time. He earned 57% of a weighted poll that includes the technical committee, national panel of independent media representing every USL market, and obviously an online fan vote always held at USLChampionship.com. Jansen Wilson did finish second on 20%, but it was Molloy walking away with July Player of the Month. Really one of the best players the championship has ever seen, and he's just getting better and better each and every season. We'll break down now the weekend fixtures, starting with the Gold Week last time around. 4 candidates, as well as for this one, Alex Mendez's goal against Monterey Bay. We have Berdilo Rodriguez, who had scored against Phoenix for Lexington back on August 8th from a nifty pass from Blaine Ferry in the give and go. So that was a nice goal. Christian Pirano also on the list from that visit to Lou City back on August 8th. His Pirano's teammates tackled, mobbed him after his equalizing goal. Beautiful curling shot that Hugo Ferrero managed to get a piece of, but not enough. But ultimately goes to Greg Hurst of New Mexico with 51% of the vote in the match against Monterey Bay. He kickstarted a late come-on from behind victory to extend New Mexico's unbeaten streak to 10 games in all comps by launching a scorching shot past Kieran Dalton of Monterey Bay to not to score at 2. So there you have it in terms of the players, not the fans' vote for choice goal of the week for week 23. Now let's talk about Detroit and Loudoun, and I wanted to make this a point because I had not talked about it last episode, but the big man, the Avenger, has gone back. He's returned to Iceland. Thor has returned to the planet where he belongs. What is Thor's planet, by the way? Thor's planet. I'm not like a big Marvel fan, but what is Thor's planet name? Is it Ragnarok? No, homeworld of Asgard. Okay. And various alien world he visits, such as the garbage planet Sakaar, featured in Ragnarok. Okay, so Asgard. I mean, pretty much this is Thor Ulfarsson returning to Asgard. Loudoun's statement player this year. Loudoun have transferred Thor Ulfarsson back to Breiðablik in Iceland. According to the club, it is both the largest transfer fee and the first international transfer in Loudoun United's history. That's the big win about this. Largest transfer fee, first international transfer in Loudoun United's history. But on the field, losing Thor, man, that's a real hit. And he came in ahead of the 2026 season, quickly becoming one of Loudoun's main attacking pieces, talking 10 goals in 21 appearances across all competitions, 8 goals in the USL Championship. That's across 16 appearances. I mean, just look at some of the goals and the games he scored. And back on April 10th, a 3-3 draw to Lou City, he bagged 2 goals. In the win against Brooklyn back on May 9th, he beat Brooklyn. That was on the road, getting the goal, only goal of that game-winning goal. And then go to July 18th against Tampa. It was a 1-1 draw. He scored that goal as well. So tying some of the Eastern Conference best competition, Lou City and Tampa Bay Rowdies. He had 8 goals, tying him with Jurgen Locadia of Miami. You have J.J. Williams, who also has the same amount of goals so far this season. None of them coming from the spot. So I think it's a bit bittersweet for Loudoun fans. Is it a strong sign for the club? It hurts now, but it's I guess it's nice to say, like, hey, Loudoun can even be a pathway for maybe natives of different countries in Europe, countries like Iceland, where you can come here, show your stuff, and then go back to where you come from in a nice way about it, right? To really light up the league, get back into your form, and then go back to where home is. That's totally possible with Loudoun United. But it feels also as like, hey, we're phoning it in this season. We are phoning it in big time. We're saying, you know what? We'll give it back. We'll take the transfer fee. We can look to rebuild, because at the moment you are sitting 5 points out of the playoff spot of 8th. I mean, Loudoun right now 10th in the Eastern Conference, and losing your leading goal scorer, your standout player of the season, is just to say, just kind of a indication like, yeah, probably not going to happen that we break through. And I don't bet. I mean, without Thor, I don't see Loudoun, for me, getting back to where they want to be in the playoffs. But it had reminded me of a player. I am a Wigan Athletic supporter. Started supporting the team back in 2009 when Roberto Martinez, who was coaching Portugal this past World Cup, was coaching them. And Hugo Rodiega was a big player that year in 2009 in that game against Aston Villa, which just made me fall in love with the team. But one player in particular, the season beforehand, was an Egyptian guy, came out of nowhere almost, Amir Zaki. That's Amirzaki. Had come to Wigan Athletic and played like a similar amount of games to Thor for Loudoun. And at one point, he was the 3rd top scorer in the Premier League, behind Chelsea's Nicolas Anelka at the time, and Manchester City, when they just turned over, got the new owners, and one of the biggest signings they had, Robinho, who had 15. And so Anelka had 15 goals, Robinho had 12, and Zaki had he had 10 goals for Wigan, which is crazy. It just, talk about like enigmas, players that just come in, they're quick, they're agile, they just score a ton of goals and then they leave, and you're like, that guy's a legend. He will forever be a club legend, even in the short amount of times he's played at. And Thor will be a Loudoun United legend for what he had, made 2026 a memorable year in that regard for what he had contributed. Luckily enough, they visit here Keyworth Stadium. Detroit would probably be kicking themselves the fact they couldn't get the win against the Thorless Loudoun side, but this one ended 0-0. I mean, Detroit had the better first half, nearly found the opener 6 minutes before the break when Max Rodriguez curled an effort off the right post before Agbuchalam put the rebound off target. After halftime, Richie Amon forced Herrera into a save just past the hour mark. Moments later, Detroit hit the woodwork again as Atis Juf rattled the crossbar from distance. Rodriguez did send the rebound wide. Loudon threatened late through Watts, while Juf and Cedeno had chances for LaRouge, but neither side found a finish. It was a 0-0 draw. Detroit hit the woodwork twice in this one, so maybe some Asgard, Icelandic sort of spirits on player for Loudon to deny Detroit from scoring. But yeah, it's a 0-0 draw in Detroit, so I guess a good result for Loudon without Thor. Had they had lost the first weekend without him, this time around, get the draw at a tough spot like Keyworth Stadium. So there you have it there from one of the games to discuss from this past weekend. Obviously a note on Thor as well, leaving Loudon, going back to Iceland to play for one of his former clubs of Breiðablik in Iceland as well. All right, so then now we get into Copa Tejas action. San Antonio taking on El Paso. And El Paso delivered one of its biggest road statements of the season, beating San Antonio 3-0 at Toyota Field to claim the Copa Tejas 5-3 on aggregate. The visitors striking first in the 20th minute when Alex Mendez unleashed a long-range hit into the top right corner that Petruni got a hand to but couldn't keep out. San Antonio had already been warned, and El Paso just kept on coming. The match really swinging before halftime in the favor of the visitors. In this one, Mendez striking again in the 39th after pouncing on a missed pass and finishing sharply. Then a minute before the break, Moreno picked up the ball on the left side of the box, delivered a nice cross for Farkulun, who finished from close range to make it 3-0 in the opening half. Locomotive closing out a third straight league win, a third straight shutout as the second half would end 0-0 between the two sides. That 3-goal cushion favorably in the hands of El Paso, a trophy-winning night against an in-state rival. A big kind of a USL Cup hangover for San Antonio. Now, Paso's form has flipped fast. 3 straight league wins, 3 straight clean sheets. Now back into the Western Conference top 4. Mendez owning that first half. 2 goals, bringing his tally to 8 goals on the season, tying Thor, who is now no longer. Just to give you a bit of a, also a comparison rate for how much impact the guys had. But Alex Mendez scoring twice, winning 5 of 6 duels, set the tone big time. And El Paso suddenly a real Western Conference threat again? Yes, I think so. They're really hitting their stride and form. This is a big one. Beating struggling teams is one thing, but going to San Antonio, winning 3-0, getting that aggregate score, lifting the Copa Tejas, moving back into the top 4, it just kind of gives you a bit more gives you a bit more momentum. Now the next road test at Colorado becomes a real measuring stick for sure. USLChampionship.com staff with the coverage there. Let's get into Sacramento taking on Lexington. And the big one, it's in the title this episode, and it's Sacramento Republic signing Cal Jennings. The 29-year-old is third leading scorer in USL Championship history with 82 goals in 150 regular season games. And they announced it back on Friday, August 14th, that they had signed Cal Jennings. Jennings was available for selection Saturday night against Lexington, though he did not appear neither on the bench either. The 29-year-old most recently featured for Japanese third division side FC Ryokyu. I'm sorry if I butchered the pronunciation there, but he made 13 appearances during the 2026 100 Eurovision League season. So he returns to the championship. We talked about the leading all-time scorers, but what a signing. What a signing and what a return to play for Sacramento. That gives him a big edge. He began his career in the championship back in 2020 with Memphis 901 FC when they were a franchise. He recorded 9 goals in 14 appearances in the abbreviated campaign. That was COVID, right? Since then, he recorded 5 consecutive seasons with double-digit goals. He joined Tampa Bay in the 2023 season. He connected with current Republic FC head coach Neil Collins, so they have a relationship. Went on to score 34 regular season goals in 2 seasons with the club. I mean, wow. He's currently tied for the league record with 15 multi-goal games alongside Dane Kelly. He's also the fastest player in league history to reach 50, 60, and 70 goal marks, and now joining Sacramento for his latest stop in the league. General Manager Tim Holt and in Sacramento Republic FC president had said Cal is one of the most prolific scorers in the league has ever seen. We're thrilled that he will now be representing our badge. This is a Western Conference table like we've never seen before, and we feel that adding a player with Cal's pedigree is a move that can help move us from middle of the pack and challenge for that number 1 seed, end quote. So wow, big time for him. He had played in the J2 League, I believe it was, and he had 13 appearances. He averaged 35 minutes per game. I think he only started one match of the 13 appearances. Did not have any goals in Japan playing professional over there, but nonetheless went to a whole different culture, whole different style of play in a lower J League, which I can't imagine how competitive that is as a professional soccer player. So to come back now with that experience, going to make him even more of a threat, I'm sure. This one between Sacramento and Lexington on the night stayed tight into the final minutes with Jack Gurr heading just wide in the 80th minute before Sacramento finally found the winner. A lot of late minute goals in this weekend. A lot of also, own goals, but this was not an own goal. 87th minute, Memo Rodriguez corner was headed toward the back post by Jared Timmer. Kyle Edwards slid in from close range to make it 1-0. The win moves Sacramento up to 5th in the Western Conference, ended Lexington's 4-game unbeaten run as well. Jared Timmer delivering the decisive assist. He also completed 66 of 76 passes, winning 6 of 9 duels and adding 6 recoveries plus 2 clearances. So an all-around performance as Edwards strikes late as Sacramento edge Lexington at home at Heart Health Park. Lexington struggled badly in the final third, failing to score or even record a shot on target in a USL Championship match for the first time since May 18th, 2025 against FC Tulsa. Hartford and Miami, some benefits here because both sides, mind you, had played midweek in a really eventful quarterfinal, both of them in the Prince Tires USL Cup. Hartford, though, bragging rights because they're still in the competition, and Miami had to now visit Hartford here. And at Trinity Health Stadium, 16th minute, Hartford strike first. Barry Coffey followed up after Eloy Room saved the initial effort and rebound header. Miami FC answered in first half stoppage time with Jurgen Locadia finishing into the right corner after a Mason Turnbridge beautiful curling slicing pass from inside the final third. Really nice from the left side. Really nice assist. Definitely assist of the week for me. Second half, deep in stoppage time, Coffey's low cross deflected off of a defender and caromed into the net off of room for an own goal. One of our many own goals that happened late this weekend. Hartford, dramatic 2-1 win. Coffey helps Hartford snatch huge playoff 6-pointer. This is kind of when that playoff picture becomes a little bit more clear, especially for Hartford's side. They have a bit of a gap now from the rest of the pack in 8th spots, setting the precedent or the standard for what that point tally looks like to get into playoff picture. Hartford applied the better pressure in big moments here. They won the XG battle 2.6 to 1.1, despite only holding a 16 to 15 edge in shots. And Miami's tough week continues following its USL Cup exit with a loss and then dropping now below the playoff line. Pittsburgh taking on Charleston, the big heavyweight clash of the Eastern Conference. And it was the Riverhounds who started fast in front of a sellout crowd at FNB Stadium, taking the lead just after 118 seconds. When who else but Trevor Eamon latching onto Jackson Walty's long pass and firing home just outside the box. Eamon then turned provider in the 16th minute, setting up Danny Griffin to double the lead. Charleston Battery answered quickly through Douglas Martinez Jr. 2 minutes later, luckily, but Pittsburgh kept control of the key moments. Albert Dikwa nearly added another after halftime before Victor Souza restored the 2-goal cushion in the 61st minute with a header from Sam Bassett's corner. Charleston went down to 10 men with a red card to the goal scorer Martinez in the 81st minute. Pittsburgh substitute Junior 2 knew that Martinez definitely had already a yellow card, so he got on the right with the speed and was about to enter the penalty area. Martinez caught behind the play, trips, kind of just puts that sort of shoulder or the hand on the shoulder, and the 2 makes a meal of it for sure to stop the attack. Referee shows Martinez the second yellow for the tactical foul, followed immediately by the red card. Martinez's first yellow had come in the 78th minute for a reckless foul, so just 3 minutes earlier. So back-to-back yellows within the span of not even 5 minutes. Pittsburgh seeing out a 3-1 win. Tough one for Charleston on the road here. It snaps a 3-game home scoring drought as well, Pittsburgh, and earns its first championship win over the Battery since October of 2024. So who else but Trevor Eamon? Call him if you need some big moments, because that guy delivers for Pittsburgh so far. Sporting Jacksonville, Florida over here, taking on Indy 11 at home at Hodges Stadium. A rare away win for Indiana in this one. The match stayed tight deep into the second half. We talk about own goals, right? We talked about what happened with Miami and Hartford. Now take a look at this one. It is Indy 11 finding the winner in stoppage time of the second half when Paco Craig's header from Ken Lindley's free kick caromed off Antonio Gomez and into the corner of the net. And that 1-0 win snaps Indy's 5-game winless run, moved the boys in blue back into the top half of the Eastern Conference. So Craig forces that late own goal. Indy controlled most of the second half, outshooting Sporting Jacks 10-1 after the break. The late winner also ended Indy's 360-minute. We said 5-game winless run, but 360-minute league scoreless streak dating back to stoppage time against San Antonio back in July of 31 of July, I should say. Tampa Bay Rowdies take it on Rhode Island. We got some transfers to talk about for each of the two sides. Starting first with Rhode Island, they acquire midfielder Eric Klein on loan from New England Revolution. The 19-year-old has recorded 2 assists and 11 appearances for the Revs, has also competed for United States U20s. And they announced that back on Friday for him, so there you have it. He appeared as a substitute in this one. For Tampa Bay Rowdies, they acquire Connor Antley on loan from DC United. The veteran defender spent 3 seasons previously with the Rowdies, logging over 100 appearances across all competitions. So it's his second stint now with the club. He was a regular contributor for the club across the 2021 to 2023 seasons, earning, like I said, 102 appearances, notching 14 assists. The Georgia native played a pivotal role for the Rowdies in 2021, helping the club claim the Players' Shield with a club record 71 points and 15 shutouts in the regular season. I mentioned him big here because he just rose to the spotlight. He came back in a triumphant return in this one. It was amazing goals scored from Tampa. They nearly struck early at Al Lang Stadium when Ethan Bartlow's header was saved by Koke Vegas before Evan Conway put the rebound off the left post, where LNFC had its chance through Tsukada, but Waite turned his effort wide into the match for the halftime to go scoreless. The Rowdies come out stronger after the break. They find the opener just past the hour mark. Deanna Koff played who else but Connor Antley, returning home on loan from DC United into the right side of the box. Antley cut inside before curling, not even curling, he really just smacked it with his left foot, knuckling the ball into the top left corner. Rhode Island pushing for a response, but Waite denied Sakata again before Russell Cicerone's clever flick set up Luis Perez for the stoppage time volley. Really nice goal as well. Tough to decide between the two what goal was better, but maybe I go with just with Antley here just because of what it means. But Tampa Bay bounced back from its midweek USL Cup exit. 2 high-quality second-half finishes. The Rowdies become the first team to reach 10 shutouts in the USL Championship this season, the 6th time they have hit that mark in 10 league campaigns. And Connor Antley delivering that decisive moment. He won 8 of 12 duels, made 2 clearances out of 5 recoveries, and a strong two-way performance on the night. We talk about Eric Klein, the guy who Rhode Island had acquired from on loan from New England Revolution. He came in what was the 72nd minute, subbing in for Shapiro Thompson. He had 17 touches of the night, as well as, 13 out of 15 passes completed as well. 1 out of 1 long ball accurate, and 1 tackle won with 1 defensive contribution with that tackle, but lost possession 3 times in the night and only had 1 unsuccessful touch. That was his little 6.4 rating from SofaScore. And we'll, keep an eye out for Rhode Island if you're watching. See if Eric Klein gets some more minutes in the upcoming fixtures as he's on loan from New England. Colorado taking on Birmingham. This was a chippy affair, and it was Birmingham striking first at a Widener field. The visitors with Nico Brown firing a first-time finish into the roof of the net in the 24th minute. We'll talk about Nico Brown shortly after because Colorado Springs kept piling on pressure and pulled level just before halftime when Metusala headed home Adrian Perez's free kick from close range. This is very interesting because you have 2 goal scorers that would go on with Metusala and Brown both getting their respective red cards. Starting first with Brown in the second half. He does a Jackie Chan karate kick to the chest of Lacroix. We talked about Suarez's flying cock face to Rocha early on. This was also a giant freaking kick to the chest of Lacroix. If you haven't seen this one, a ridiculous challenge here. And he's sent off right away. Birmingham still find a late lead in the 86th minute through Ngoma after a loose pass out of the back. Then the switchbacks produce a wild stoppage time rally. Perez heading into the equalizer in the 95th minute. Juan Tejada burying the winner in the 99th to give Colorado Springs a 3-2 victory and move the switchbacks back above the playoff line. But also, shortly after that game-winning goal, Metusala would get a second yellow for, I would say, a soft foul, but nonetheless, a little bit of a foul on Damas near the touchline. So he got his marching orders for his second yellow, but it's Tejada's 99th minute that caps the wild switchbacks rally in a chippy affair between the two sides. Colorado now set a USL Championship regular season record with 45 shots, surpassing Phoenix Rising's 41 shot mark from 2021. It was a crazy, crazy match. Birmingham nearly stole the result despite playing most of the second half down a man, but defensive issues on crosses into the box punished the Legion late on. USLChampionship.com staff with the coverage there. Let's also talk about other loans from the MLS coming. FC Tulsa acquiring defender Wilson Eisner on loan from San Diego FC as we talk about Tulsa taking on New Mexico United. That was also announced on Friday. Eisner available for selection in that Sisters Tales matchup against New Mexico. He had recorded 7 appearances for San Diego FC this season in the MLS, as well as the CONCACAF Championship Cup, 24 years old at the moment. So we'll see how he does for Tulsa in the upcoming fixtures. And it's here FC Tulsa thought it had taken the lead, the Isotope Park, in 26 minutes at the lab when Logan Dorsey redirected a long throw into the net, but the goal was ruled out for handball. New Mexico United threatened before halftime through Usman Jabang, who, while Tulsa nearly struck in stoppage time when Ordonez was denied by Shakes, New Mexico taking control after the break and nearly went ahead when Jake LaCava's effort was cleared off the line. Decisive moment came in the 83rd minute when Greg Hurst, July Player of the Month nominee, turned into the penalty area, was brought down by Clark, converted the spot kick himself, the 1-0 win, giving New Mexico its 6th straight league victory and first 6-game winning streak in the club's USL Championship regular season history. New Mexico on fire at the moment, and it's Hurst delivering that winning moment for New Mexico. Tulsa started well. They had that goal correctly ruled out, but the attack faded late for the second straight match. And hey, talking about outshooting Tulsa 11-3 after the break for New Mexico, really turning it on after halftime for them. Three more games to talk about here. We'll go to Oakland taking on Monterey Bay at the Coliseum. They had the better first half of the Coliseum. They nearly struck early when Burton Jackson was denied by Delgado in between the pipes for Monterey Bay before Jesus de Vicente forced a sharp save and Bruno Lapa hit the crossbar. Oakland find the opener in the final minute before halftime when a corner fell to Jackson and he roofed to finish from 10 yards. Monterey Bay responding after the break. It's Omari Glasgow and Elijah Paul both forcing saves from McIntosh, but Paul eventually finds the equalizer in the 77th minute, curling an effort that squeezed past McIntosh and a covering defender. Diego Otoya nearly won it late for Monterey Bay, but McIntosh made it a near-post save, and the NorCal rivals finished level at 1-1. Paul equalizer leaves Oakland and Monterey Bay stuck in place, we can really say. Florian Velo was big in this one. He brought energy and bite to Oakland's midfield, creating 5 chances, completing 39 of 48 passes, and winning 13 of 18 duels, adding 10 recoveries. All-around performance from his end in an Oakland jersey. OC taking on Lou City. OC taking on Lou City. This was a great affair and a great matchup as well. Louisville made a dream start on the road against Orange County at Championship Soccer Stadium, one of the top teams of the Western Conference. 6 minute, Tola Shawunmi produced a clever flick to send Ray Serrano into the box, and Serrano finished low into the right corner to put Lou City up 1-0 in the 6th minute. Orange County had more of the ball, but Lou City carried the sharper punch. Quincy Huerman nearly added a second before halftime, but we're in 1-0 going into the break. And the second half, this game would come alive. Just 121 seconds into the second half, Lou City strike again. It's Huerman slipping Serrano in behind the defense. The winger lifted his finish past the advancing goalkeeper for his first brace with the club. And then in the 68th minute, Louisville made it 3-0 with a brilliant team move as Huerman's first time cross from the right found Chris Donovan at the back post for the first time finish. So 70 minutes gone, 3 goals to the good, nothing to show for OC, but OC did not go out quietly. Usman Silla pulled one back in the 70th minute, and then Yaniv Bazzini converted from this penalty spot in the 81st after Cambridge was ruled to have been brought down by McFadden. Orange County pushed hard late, taking 6 of the final 7 shots. Louisville blocked, battled, and held on for a massive 3-2 win to cap an unbeaten week against 3 of the league's top teams. How about that for Lou City and form? Serrano picking the perfect night for a breakout, 2 excellent finishes. Quincy Huerman added to the list, and Lou City surviving the storm. Usman Silla was, the bright spot for OC, who started the comeback, but Lou City starting to peak possibly at the right time. This week says yes. Lou City facing San Antonio, Tampa Bay, and Orange County in an 8-day stretch, coming through unbeaten, including a cup shootout win at Tampa, this road win against the Western Conference leaders. They are not at their ceiling yet, but that might be the point. Simon Bird said there is, quote, a lot more to come, end quote. And this looked like a team starting to find its late season edge. And maybe this could be the year for Lou City. maybe this could be the year because it would be crazy if it was. Danny Cruz had left earlier on in the season, but we talked about Lou City's dominance the past 2 years, and what had that left him in the playoffs? Zilch. Nothing. Nada. You go away. I feel like I'm talking back in the days of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. You get nothing. You don't win. And Lou City now, look at it. I mean, they're hitting their stride. It's August. It's past mid-August here. San Antonio, Tampa Bay, Orange County, no problem. In an 8-day span, it's ridiculous. And maybe this is all you need. Don't finish first. Forget that. Just get your momentum, get things right, be competitive, and take that into the playoffs. And finally, maybe we can get to the final where we feel we truly deserve to be. How about that? Lou City Communications, USLChampions.com staff with the coverage there. Last game, talk about Las Vegas Lights at Cashman Field, the last year at Cashman Field. And it's Brooklyn FC who strikes first, taking the lead in the 4th minute after a defensive mistake allows CJ Only Jr. to unselfishly set up Juan Carlos Obregon Jr. for a simple finish. Obregon nearly added soon after, forcing Lanfear into a save from a free kick before another chance was punched over. But Las Vegas grow into this match. They turn up the pressure after halftime. Carson Locker and Johnny Rodriguez both testing Lucas Burns before Ben Ofemu hit the crossbar. The equalizer finally came in the 68th minute when Olex Anderson tapped home after Manuel Arteaga headed the ball back across the 6-yard area. Then in the 87th minute, Rodriguez's long-range effort took a deflection and found the net, giving the Lights a 2-1 comeback win and extending their unbeaten run to 7 games across all comps. Las Vegas showing a real fight after going behind early. Brooklyn fading badly after the break, getting outshot 15-4. And Nick Sesak, who made the difference from the right side, assisting Rodriguez's late winner, creating 5 chances, winning 8 out of 11 duels. Strong also two-way performance on his end. And Las Vegas get the 3 points against a struggling side in Brooklyn at the moment in the Eastern Conference. And there you have it. Let's take a look at the league table. I'm not going to talk too much about Las Vegas, by the way, but I'm sure the moment will arise when we understand what the heck is going on with that franchise come next year, if they even will be a franchise, as they look still to get a new home after Cashman Field will no longer be their home after this season. But it's not looking too good. It's looking more like, I don't know if it's like a North Carolina, Memphis 901 thing at the moment with them. So let's hope that's not the case. I will provide more when the opportunity presents itself. I could take even more time to break down the recent communications from Las Vegas that has no indication of what's going on with the team. But we're 52 minutes into this episode, and we still need to break down the table as well as the upcoming fixtures. So I don't want to get into it now, but we will get into it at some point, especially when we have a bit more insights to really give a confident answer. Eastern Conference, Western Conference. Let's start with the Western Conference. Orange County, despite the back-to-back losses they had against Tampa Bay, against Lou City, they still find themselves with 34 points, 1 point ahead of New Mexico United. The problem, though, 3 games behind are New Mexico. New Mexico have only played 17 games. They're on a crazy run of form. So I don't know if that 1 point victory or lead will last for Orange County. Nonetheless, New Mexico in second place, 33 points from 17 matches played. San Antonio in third with 32 points. El Paso in fourth with 31 points. Sacramento in fifth with 30 points. Tulsa and Las Vegas tied in sixth with 29 points. And then the magic number in the Western Conference is 28 points at the moment. Colorado Springs Switchbacks tied with Lexington in that 8th place spot. Then bottom 3 of the Western Conference, 23 points for Oakland Roots, 22 points for Phoenix Rising, and 16 points for Monterey Bay at the bottom of the Western Conference. Then we'll go from bottom to top in the Eastern Conference. Well, Sporting Jack, still the worst team in the league with 8 points. Also, they're back on a losing streak, back-to-back losses for them. They'll take on Birmingham next, but they have 8 points for 20 matches played. Ahead of them is Brooklyn with 13 points from 18 matches played. 11th place, Birmingham Legion with 17 points from 18 matches played. 10th place, Loudoun with 19 points. 9th place, Miami with 22 points. 8th place, the magic number, Hartford just beat Miami this past weekend, 24 points in that playoff cutoff line spot. That is the magic number in the Eastern Conference. Then ahead of them, both on 25 points, Indy 11 and Rhode Island tied in 6th. 5th place goes to Pittsburgh with 30 points. Lou City in 4th place with 31 points. Then you have Detroit City FC in 3rd place with 32 points. 2nd place goes to Charleston Battery with 33 points. Then ahead of the pack, big time, 44 points. Only 2 losses this season. They're kicking ass. Tampa Bay Rowdies at the moment on top of the Eastern Conference, on top of the USL Championship. Upcoming this week, we have Wednesday night, Phoenix Rising hosting Colorado Springs Switchbacks at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific. That's Wednesday, August 19th. Saturday, then, we're back in action. Also, the Premier League comes back, so a lot of more European football coming back to the mix this upcoming weekend. But Saturday, as we know, as always, for the USL Championship, Loudoun hosts New Mexico United 6:30 Eastern. Detroit hosts Tampa at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 Pacific. Same time, Indy 11 hosts Lou City. Lexington hosts Las Vegas. Brooklyn hosts Pittsburgh. Half an hour later, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, Rhode Island hosts Monterey Bay. You also have Charleston at the same time taking on Miami FC in Charleston. Then you have at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific, Birmingham hosting Sporting Jacks. 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific, it is Colorado Springs Switchbacks taking on El Paso. San Antonio taking on Oakland Roots. And then 2 late games on Saturday, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific, Orange County hosts FC Tulsa. The final game on Saturday, 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 Pacific, Sacramento hosts Phoenix Rising. And that is that. I need to drink some water. That was so much to unpack. Thanks again to Gio making his debut on the pod with that vocal message. Thanks for checking out those matches. And as always, you know where to find me, Talk USL, across all social platforms, as well as Talk USL Championship on my email at gmail, talkuslchampionship@gmail.com. And guys, keep on listening, keep on going, stay cool, and stay fit. We'll talk next time.